Alrighty, so today the only supply that we're going to be using is a strap. So if you have a yoga strap, that's great. If not, you can use an extra pair of workout leggings, a belt, a scarf, a rolled up blanket, pretty much like any long piece of fabric that you have. And then once you've grabbed that, you can either find a comfy laying down position on your mat or the floor, or you can make your way into a comfy seat, whichever way feels better for you. I'm going to start the song over. And then I invite you to close your eyes or take a soft gaze at the floor in front of you and begin to bring the attention to the breath. For some people, thinking about the breath can be a little anxiety inducing. And so if it doesn't feel good today, feel free to allow your mind to wander to your favorite happy space, whatever that looks like for you. But if you'd like to guide your breath, I invite you to inhale for a count of 5 and exhale for a count of 5. Just breathing and being in your body. As you continue to breathe, I invite you to set an intention for your practice today, whether it be for yourself, for someone you love, or just for the hope of a practice that feels good to you. And then whether you're laying down or seated, you can roll your head over to the left, like you're reaching your left earlobe down to your left shoulder. And maybe you stretch your right arm out to the side. Tucking your chin into your chest, slowly roll your way to the right side, right ear to right shoulder. Maybe your left arm is out. And then release the hands down to the sides. Bring your head back through center. Point and flex the toes a few times. Maybe take some ankle circles and some small circles with the wrists, or pressing the fingertips down, stretching out the wrists and palms. And then taking a few shoulder rolls or shimmies if you're lying down, stretching one shoulder up and the other down. Just bringing some small movements into a body that might have been kind of stuck sitting throughout the day. And then we'll all make our way down to our backs. You can either hug the knees into the chest and take a few rocks, making your way down, or send the legs out long and roll the back down towards the mat or the floor. You can send your arms out to a T and bring the sole of the right foot onto the mat. We'll come into a supine twist, so pressing onto the toes of the right foot and then tipping the right knee over towards the left side of the body. The knee doesn't have to come down to the floor. Trying to keep both shoulders on the mat. And if you're still seated, you can hug the knee into the chest and press it to the opposite side of the body. And breathe into the twist. Noticing any stickiness in the spine. Rolling back so that both hips come to the floor. Hug that right knee in and take a few circles, pressing the knee away from you and hugging it in towards the chin. Bringing some rotation into the hip. The circles can be as small or as big as feels good to you. And then send the right foot up tall towards the ceiling. Point and flex the toes, noticing that there might even be a stretch just now before we pull the thigh to the chest. If you have your strap with you, you can bend the leg and wrap it around the toes. Bring the leg out as long as feels good, not locking the knee, and hug it in towards the chest. If you don't have a strap with you, you can wrap your fingers behind the back of your right thigh, hug that thigh in. I like to keep a slight bend, allowing me to hug the leg in and still get a nice deep stretch. Keeping the right leg up, bring the sole of the left foot to the mat, and then cross the right ankle above the left knee. And then you can use your hands to hug the left thigh in, or you can just use the pressure of the left thigh on the right ankle to begin to press forwards, like you're trying to fold your legs into your chest. This might be a small movement, or you may fold completely in half. If you'd like to add a twist, maintaining the pressure of the left thigh on the right ankle, you're going to twist your setup down towards the left as though you were trying to step the right foot onto the floor. You might not make it all the way down to the ground. You might be hovering, engaging the core as you do so. If you bring your thigh further away from the chest, it's often easier to get down towards the floor. And then you can shimmy up further if you'd like to deepen the stretch. Slowly coming back through to center. Sending both legs up towards the sky. Flex the feet and lower down nice and slow. Bring the left leg up this time. Sole of the foot comes to the floor. Arms out to a T and tip yourself over. Left knee going towards the right side of the body. Coming back to lay down, hug that left knee in and take some circles with the leg, beginning to open up the hip and bring movement into the stickiness. When you're feeling ready, you can straighten that leg up towards the sky with the strap wrapped around the sole of the foot, or fingers intertwined behind the thigh. Hugging the leg in, playing with the difference in the stretch when the toes are pointed versus when they're flexed. Keeping the left leg up, bring the sole of the right foot to the floor. And then cross left ankle above right knee. Maybe you're already feeling a stretch here. Maybe you hug that right thigh in, looking for where you feel a nice stretch in the left hip. If you'd like to add in the twists, you can bring your arms out to a T and begin to twist the legs over towards the right. Remembering you can press the thighs further away from you if you'd like to lower down to the floor, and then shimmy the setup up further towards the shoulders. Slowly pressing those legs back up, unwinding, hug the knees into the chest, and take a few rocks to bring yourself up to a seat. We're going to be taking some seated twists now. Totally your call if you'd like to do this with one leg extended or with both legs bent. I'll show you both options. So we're going to start by crossing our left leg over our right. Option one is to keep that right leg out long. Option 2 is to bend the right leg in so that you kind of look like a little pretzel shape. And then we'll cross our left ankle over our right knee, whether that be with it out long or bent in. If above the knee isn't comfy, you can send it further down towards the ankle or keep both legs out straight. Just don't cross right at the knee. We don't want to put unnecessary pressure on our knee. Inhale, arms up to the sky, look up to the fingertips. Exhale, twist yourself on over to the left. Maybe your left hand comes behind the left hip. Your right hand down in front of you or holding on to the thigh. As you sit here, allow your inhales to grow the spine taller. Exhales to twist you a little bit deeper. Maybe the eyes close. Maybe they find a focal point. Take one more deep inhale. And then exhale, release from the twist, come back towards center. Before we take the other side, we're gonna take an extended stretch here. So everybody send that right leg out long. And we've got a few options. Option 1 is half cow face, which is where you would take the left knee and stack it over top of the right knee. Sorry, my toes are in the way. And then you fold over. You should feel a pretty deep stretch here in the right thigh. Option 2 is to bring the left foot to the sole, or the left foot to the inside of the right calf or thigh, whichever feels better for you, and walk yourself out and down. Walk yourself up nice and slow. Uncross the legs and send both out long. Use your hands to pull the fleshy part of your bum out from underneath you. Find those sits bones. Inhale up tall. Exhale, dolphin dive forwards. It's like you're trying to get your nose to line up with your toes. So we've still got a nice strong back. We're not hunching at the shoulders. Maybe you let the mouth fall open and the exhales escape with a sigh. Lock yourself up. Preparing for a twist on the opposite side, crossing your ankle over your left thigh. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, find your twist. Coming back through center. Sending the bottom leg out long. You can take half cow face where the top knee crosses over the bottom, or you can bring the top leg to the inside of the bottom thigh. Walk yourself out and down. Coming up nice and tall. Send both legs out long, and then wrapping your hands underneath the knees. Pull the legs up, and then press the knees out, coming into your butterfly. Rocking yourself from side to side. And then you can use the toes, the ankles, or the floor to walk your chest out. Elbows can be used to press into the thighs. Or you can extend, gripping your floor, the sticky mat extending through the shoulders. Let the chin dip. Breathe here. Walking the chest up. We're going to take an arm flow now. So your option if you'd like to keep the legs in butterfly to allow for a gentle opening of the hips, or find your happy seated position, whatever that looks like for you. Bring the hands down to the sides. Let the chin dip to the chest. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh out the mouth. Inhale, arms to the sky, look up to the fingertips. Exhale, dip the chin to the chest as you pull the elbows down and back. Inhale, hands up, look up. Exhale, place left hand by left hip. Right arm reaches overhead. Inhale here. And exhale. Inhale to the sky. Exhale, sway to the other side. One full round of breath. And then inhale, fingertips back up. Exhale, press elbows down and back. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale to the left. One full breath here. Inhale to the sky. To the right. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, elbows down and back. One more time. Inhale, hands up. Exhale to the left. Pull up. And lean over to the right. Come up through center. And let the hands sweep down sides. Taking a few arm circles, rolling backwards. Perhaps you use your arms extended, maybe the hands bend in. And take one more back and then circle forwards. If your knees are open, bring the hands to the outside of the knees, press them up to the sky. Everybody meet with your knees bent, hands down by your hips, and just take a few moments to sway the knees from side to side. Then slowly make your way into your table. Stacking the hips over the knees, shoulders over elbows, over wrists. Swaying the body in whatever way works for you, whether that be some circles up and down, or front to back over the wrists and sitting back to the heels. Maybe you just sway the hips. Your movement. If you'd like to add a stretch for the feet, you can tuck the toes so that you're stretching through the soles of the feet. Sorry, my floor is very creaky. I am in an attic of a very old house. Coming back up to table. Inhale your right arm to the sky, look up to those fingertips. Exhale, thread the right hand under the left armpit, landing on the right shoulder. Your left hand can dance out in front of you, or maybe it wraps around the back, reaching for the opposite hip crease. I like to bring my head to the floor and gaze out towards my fingertips. Breathe here and thread the needle. On your next inhale, place the left hand down, unwind the right arm back to the sky, and then exhale to table. Inhale, left arm up, look up. Exhale, thread the needle. On your next inhale, unwind to the sky. Exhale to table, and then make your way onto your stomach. So you're gonna take your feet as wide as your mat, tops of the feet on top of the mat, and then the hands splayed underneath the shoulders. Hug those elbows into the ribs. Look out and down a couple feet in front of you. Take a deep inhale, pull a little bit of the chest up off the mat. Exhale, lower down. coming into some breathing cobras here. Only pulling up off the mat as far as is comfy for you. So I'm gonna turn sideways. I'm really not coming very far off. Inhale, raise up, look out. Exhale, lower down. Keep going. You can extend up a little further as you go if you'd like. But what I'd like to encourage with these breathing cobras are not to push yourself for that full extension of straightened arms and tall back, but really focus on where your body is feeling a really nice stretch. I also think this one is fun because as I inhale, I can feel my belly press into the floor, and it reminds me how powerful the breath is. Two more. I don't know about you, but this really makes my core feel sore after a while. Next time you lower down, bring your feet in line with your hips, so narrowing those feet a little bit. And then bring elbows under shoulders, palms out straight ahead. Still looking out and down, pull the chest forward. So I was kind of curving through my shoulders and like letting myself collapse a little bit. I want to pull myself up tall and strong and shine that chest out. This is Sphinx. It's got fairly deep back and core engagement. And I really like it after a day of me doing the opposite of good posture at my computer. One more inhale. And then on the exhale, allow the arms to come out to the side, chest to melt down to the ground. You can bend your left knee, bringing the heel up towards the sky. And then start to twist. So raising that left thigh up off the floor and twisting the left thigh and foot over towards the right. Coming into a twist, but on the belly. If this is totally not for you today, that's always all right. You can just bend the heel in towards the butt and reach the fingertips back, even if it doesn't meet. Slowly rolling back onto the stomach, sending the left leg out long. Bend the right heel in and either reach back for that foot or tip yourself over, taking this weird stretch that reminds me of a baby rolling around. And come back onto the belly. Bring the hands back underneath the shoulders. Press yourself up into your table. Step the right foot back behind you. And we're going to take some pulses, just stretching out through the back of the legs. So just pressing back through the heel and then extending forward. I like to let the top of my foot come onto my mat and stretch through the top of my foot as well. This requires me going forward over my wrist slightly. If that doesn't feel good to you, you can always extend your hands out further in front of you. That way you're not coming over the wrists. Stack your hips back over the knees, bending both knees to the floor. Taking that right leg, lifting it up, trying to get the knee level with the buttock 5 times. Inhale, raise up. Exhale, lower down. And once you finish those 5 leg raises, step the right foot out in line with the right hip. So I'm just stepping out to the side here. And a couple of options here. You can tuck the back toes if you'd like for a little bit more stability. And if this bothers your knee, you can fold up a blanket or tuck your mat underneath it. Now you can either sit the hips back to the left heel, extend your arms out in front of you for half side split. It's okay if you don't go down all the way. Or you can slowly pulse forwards and backwards, sitting back. Just personal preference on whether your body prefers more of a kinetic stretch or to hold still and allow the muscle to release down into the stretch. In case you haven't noticed, I have zero desire to move quickly today. It is cold. I want to hibernate. Next time you pull yourself up, bring your hands back underneath the shoulders and bring that right knee back in. So we're gonna do 5 more leg lifts, but this time out to the side. So lifting that knee out, perhaps it comes level with the hip, maybe it doesn't. Just bringing a little strength into our stretch. And bringing that knee down when you're done. For this next one, you're gonna walk your hands in so that you're coming to sit up on your knees, stand up on your knees, we're on our knees. And then step that right leg forward. So I like to keep my heel on the floor. If it feels better for you, you can point your toes down towards the floor. If being on your knee is gonna be too much pressure, you can actually bring this stretch out tall. So you're kind of in like a sideways triangle. And we're just gonna fold down over that front leg. If you're standing, you may wanna grab something to hold on to on one side, or you can even just engage the core, stretch out and levitate. Levitate? We're not magicians. Gradually lower yourself down. If you're out nice and long, raise the chest up tall and fold on over. Fingertips may or may not reach the floor. You can always bring a bend into the front leg. Walk your hands back in and up. Bring a slight bend into that front leg and tuck it back to the back leg. Coming back into our table, we're just gonna send the leg out for some little half circle sweeps. So this might be a super wide sweep for you. Your foot might go all the way out front and extend all the way back, or you might just step it out to the side and slowly rotate back and forth. We've done a lot of deep stretches and some strengthening exercises. We're just gonna bring a little bit of movement. And then bend that knee back in. Coming into our half frog, couple of different options. If you're seated, send your bent leg out to the side, flex the foot, hug the knee up towards the shoulder as far as is comfy for you. If you're going to come into the laying down version, lay down on your stomach, send your right leg out to the side, bend at the knee, and I'm bringing my knee personally for me just up above my hip, but it can be at whatever angle feels good for you. Flex the toes, and then bring the elbows underneath the shoulders. Pull yourself up. Or stay down nice and low. Let your cheek lay on your mat. Breathe here. Maybe take a sip of water or tea. Slowly bring that right leg back down towards the left. Peel yourself back up into your table. Oops. We're going to take all of those stretches on the other side now. So stepping the left foot back and pulsing through the heel. Remember, you can always bring your hands out further in front of you and even roll onto the top of the foot. Bringing the hands back underneath the shoulders, bend at the knee, 5 leg lifts. When you're done, sending your left leg out to the left side. I like to keep my toes in line with my back calf, but you can also turn them out 45 degrees or come up onto the heel. And either sitting back in the stretch or slowly pulsing forwards and backwards. Breathe wherever you're at. Feeling yourself back up. Bring the left leg in. 5 leg lifts to the side. And then we'll take our forward stretch, stepping that left leg out long. Remember the option to come up nice and tall if you'd like. and fold the torso out over that leg. And then when you're ready, you can take those leg sweeps. I'm gonna go straight from my stretching position, bring both hands inside of my leg, and start to sweep forwards and backwards. Taking one more front to back and back to front. Before getting ready for frog, if you're seated, bend the left knee, flex the left foot, hug the knee up towards the ear. If you're coming down onto the belly, elbows underneath shoulders, palms out in front of you. Bend the left knee and bring it up towards the hip. Flex the left toes from the side. Holding in and out. Breathing here. We won't take full frog in this class, but if you are ever interested, I like to have like a blanket underneath my hips. You bend both knees, sending the ankles in line with the knees, toes flexed, and come down onto the forearms, almost like you're coming into a split. I don't find it to be the most comfortable pose. I like half. One more breath. And then send that leg back, pulling the knees up and bringing them out wide, touching big toes together. Sit hips back to heels for child's pose. Bringing the forehead to the mat, rolling side to side from temple to temple. Coming up onto the fingertips, walk them just an inch or so forward and then lower the palms down, allowing for further extension through the shoulder blades. And then walk the hands over to the right. And over to the left. Coming back through to center. Couple of options for our final pose today. We've done a lot of hip work with all of our sideways movements, stretching forwards and backwards. So we're going to take one last hip pose, but there's 3 different variations of it. Option 1 is reclining pigeon, which is what we took at the beginning of our practice. Laying on your back, crossing right ankle above left knee, and then hug that left thigh in. Option 2 is pigeon from an upright position. I like to come into my table, step my right foot to my right thumb, and then heel toe it across to the left. Placing my weight into my hands, slowly lowering that right knee down. My heel comes in closer towards my hips. I do not keep it parallel to the front of my mat. And then I extend my left leg backwards. You can stay up on the hands, lower down onto the forearms, or bring the forehead to the floor. And then the third option is to take lizard, which from this table, you would actually step your right foot to your right pinky, come up onto the toes of the left foot, and lift the back knee. Or lower down if you'd prefer to have your lower half on the floor. Finding whatever pose works for you. Allowing yourself to use the breath to help you settle into the position. Breathe here. Beginning to slowly release from the position you've chosen. Sliding your way out of and lowering yourself down. Preparing for the pose on the left side. If one side is feeling more or less open than the other, it's totally okay to take a different variation on either side. So you can take your pigeon, your lizard, or your reclining pigeon. And allow the body to slowly settle and focus back in on the breath. Slowly pressing yourself up or releasing yourself out of your pose. Making your way onto your backs for happy baby. And any last stretches, inversions, or exercises that feel good to you. If you'd like to join me in happy baby, pulling the knees in towards the armpits and grabbing opposite sides of the feet with the hands, rocking back and forth, side to side. As you are ready, and absolutely no rush, bringing the knees into the chest and releasing the limbs out into whatever meditative posture feels good to you. For a few moments, allowing yourself to melt into your mat and the air around you. Just breathe. Bring small movements into the fingers and toes. Noticing the breath crawling in through the nose and out through the mouth. Rolling onto your right side. Before pressing yourself up into a comfortable seat, moving slowly and gently. You can bring the palms to the lap, to the belly and the heart, wherever it feels good for you. With the eyes closed or softly gazing at the floor in front of you. Filling yourself with gratitude for your practice today. Thank you for sharing a slow and warming practice with me this evening. My toes feel a little bit warmer now than they did when we started. I'm so grateful for this time with each and every one of you. By the mercy of my teachers, the light within me honors the light within all of you. May you have a beautiful evening and rest of your week. Thank you all so much.